Once upon a time, in a peaceful green meadow surrounded by tall, whispering pines, there lived a little bunny named Bobo. Bobo was the smallest bunny in his family, soft, white, and fluffy, with big round eyes that sparkled like morning dew. He was gentle and kind, but there was one tiny problem. Bobo was afraid of almost everything. He was afraid of thunder and lightning. He was afraid of the dark holes in the forest. He was even afraid of his own reflection in the pond when the moonlight shimmered. His friends, Pip, Lila, and Nino, were much braver. They played hide-and-seek among the tall grass, climbed rocks, and told daring stories about the fox that lived near the woods. One sunny morning, Pip announced, "Let's start a Brave Bunny Club. We'll go on adventures and prove who's the bravest." All the bunnies hopped excitedly in a circle, all except Bobo. He sat quietly, his long ears drooping. "I wish I could be brave like them," he whispered sadly. That evening, when the sun dipped behind the trees, Bobo returned home and told Grandma Bunny how he felt. She was sitting in her rocking chair, knitting a warm scarf for him. "Grandma," he sighed, "everyone says being brave means doing big things, but I get scared so easily. I don't think I'll ever be brave." Grandma Bunny smiled gently and said, "Oh, my dear Bobo, bravery isn't about not being afraid. It's about doing what's right, even when you are afraid." Bobo blinked, thinking hard. "Doing what's right, even when I'm scared?" he repeated. "That's right," Grandma said, patting his head. "Remember, a kind heart is the strongest heart of all." The next morning, the meadow was quiet, too quiet. Dark clouds gathered over the forest, the wind blew hard, and soon thunder rumbled across the hills. "Quick, everyone inside!" cried the animals, running to their burrows and nests. Bobo peeked out of his warm burrow, his heart thumping. Rain was pouring down in heavy sheets, turning the grass silver. Suddenly, he heard something, a tiny, frightened cry carried by the wind. "Help! Somebody help me!" Bobo's ears twitched. "That sounds like Lila." He ran to the burrow entrance and looked out. Through the rain, he saw a small figure. It was Lila the squirrel, trapped on a tree branch that was bending dangerously under the storm's weight. Bobo's paws trembled. His heart pounded so loudly he could barely hear the thunder. He wanted to hide under his blanket and wait for the storm to pass. But then, Grandma's words echoed in his mind. "Doing what's right, even when you're scared." He took a deep breath, his tiny chest puffing out. "I can do this. I have to help her." Out into the rain he went. The wind howled, pushing against him with every hop, but Bobo didn't stop. He jumped over puddles and dodged falling leaves until he reached the big oak tree. "Lila!" he shouted over the storm. "Hold on! I'm coming!" Lila looked down, crying, "Bobo, I'm scared! The branch is breaking!" Bobo gulped. The tree looked tall and slippery, but he began to climb, gripping the bark tightly with his little paws. The rain made it hard to see, but he kept going. Higher, higher, until he reached her. "Grab my paw, Lila!" She reached out, and just as she bid, crack! The branch broke. Both of them fell through the air, but Bobo twisted mid-fall and grabbed a lower branch, holding tight. Then he jumped to the ground, landing softly on a pile of wet leaves. They were safe. Lila buried her face in her fur, crying, "You saved me, Bobo! You're the bravest bunny ever!" Bobo blinked in surprise. "I was scared the whole time," he said. Lila smiled. "That's what makes it brave." When the storm passed, the sun peeked out again, shining across the sparkling meadow. All the animals came out from their homes and saw Bobo and Lila together, muddy but safe. "Bobo saved her!" shouted Pip. "The smallest bunny saved Lila," said Nino. The other bunnies cheered and hopped around him. Even the birds in the trees chirped joyfully. Bobo's cheeks turned pink. He felt shy, but also warm inside. Later that evening, Grandma Bunny wrapped him in a towel and gave him a warm cup of carrot tea. She said, "I heard what you did, my brave little one. I'm proud of you." Bobo smiled. "You were right, Grandma. I was scared, but I did what was right." "That," Grandma said, kissing his forehead, "is what true bravery truly means." From that day on, Bobo wasn't known as the shy bunny anymore. He was Bobo the Brave, the bunny who saved his friend during the storm. His friends changed their club name to the Kind and Brave Bunny Club, where every bunny promised to help others, no matter how small or scared they felt. And every time the wind rustled through the tall grass at night, Bobo would hear Grandma's words whisper through the meadow. True bravery comes from a kind heart. Moral of the story: bravery doesn't mean being fearless. It means doing what's right, even when you're afraid.